This meeting is being recorded.
And we'll start the meeting after 5 minutes.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay, wonderful.
We'll start the meeting by 3:15.
Okay, okay.
Good afternoon, all. I may call Ms. Kirtana to give the welcome address.
Okay, Babitha ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, please. I'm waiting.
Could you please on your video? Okay, yes, yes, you start.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty members and honored guests, good afternoon. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire by William Butler Yeats. With this inspirational quote echoing in our minds, I extend a heartfelt welcome to each one of you on this pivotal day 4 of our faculty virtual international faculty development program. The flame of knowledge has been kindled in our hearts over the past 3 days, and today we gather to nurture and fuel that flame further. Our journey has been one of exploration, collaboration, and enlightenment, and the wisdom gained has been akin to sparking the passion for continuous learning. As we dwell into the enlightening sessions planned for today, let us keep in mind the transformative power of education, not merely as an accumulation of facts, but as the illumination that shapes minds and ignites curiosity. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our management, our principal, our vice principal, and our esteemed speaker and participants who have been instrumental in creating an environment of intellectual vibrancy throughout this international faculty development program. Your commitment to the pursuit of knowledge and professional development is the driving force behind the success of this program. Let us carry the flame of inspiration from today's sessions and continue to illuminate the path of academic excellence. Once again, a warm welcome to each one of you. May today be a day of profound insights, shared discoveries, and collaborative growth. Thank you. I now invite Dr. S. Vimala, Associate Professor, PSG College of Arts and Science, to introduce the chief guest for the day.
A woman becomes beautiful when her passion defines her more than her looks. Good afternoon to all. I'm delighted to introduce the chief guest, Dr. Babitha Palaniswamy, a versatile, ambitious, strong woman pushing the fixed boundaries and navigating to the most unexplored roles as English professor, English language teacher, trainee, hair and makeup artist. Dr. Babitha is a gold medalist in MA English Literature with Computer Science in Congo Arts and Science College, Erode, in 2007. And she has completed Airbrush Makeup Certificate course, London College of Makeup, Dubai, in 2018. And MA in Makeup and Hair Design Futures, Solent University, Southampton in 2023. And PhD in Bataille University in 2024. Her works has been published in Vigor magazine, Mob Journal, G Marrow magazine, Photo Walk, and Elegant magazine. She has extended her talent in the realms of film, entertainment, and won second place at the Science Fiction London 48 Hours Film Challenge in 2023. Currently, Dr. Babitha is a freelancer English language trainer at Vyasa College, Bangalore, and makeup artist in Warner Bros. Production in UK. Her unique blend of academic expertise and creative life skill makes her contribution more valuable as a dynamic personality. And such a dynamic personality is with us today to enrich with the topic Communicative English Language Teaching Strategies. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. I don't know really what to say. I really want to thank Miss Kirtana first who started this introduction because she mentioned that I was a spark turned into a flame. It made me wonder, am I lighting that same fire in all of you?
Thank you, ma'am.
So I'm still watching, I want to watch everyone's faces while I talk, but then I see blank screen with names mentioned. So it's kind of hard to talk to myself. Yes, please. Thank you. Hard to talk to myself. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. I want to see some faces. I want to thank Dr. S. Vimala for her wonderful introduction as well. She accredited so many things. I don't know what to say. I am really trying here. I'm a very passionate person who wants to, not only dream but make it happen. So I always pursue my dreams, and that's why I'm here, I guess. Last but not the least, I really want to thank my dearest friend, Dr. Jayanti. Without her, I won't be here today. So thank you, Jayanti. And can I see your face? Okay, I think she has some technical difficulties. So before,
Thank you, Babitha. I'm here. Can you see me?
yes, no, I can't see you still. Anyways, now I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Just bear with me, guys. Yes. Can everyone see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So my topic for today is communicative English language teaching strategies. Yes. So any language, what is the purpose of a language is always communication. And as as a second language speaker of English, I really, felt the difficulties of English language myself. And I really tried to improve it. And that's what made me stand here today in front of you. Sorry, my slide is not working. I'm just trying to move the slide. Can everyone see this?
Can I?
Just bear with me. Sorry, it's not connecting. Can you see this? Can you see the presentation?
Yes, ma'am, we could see it.
But I'm not able to move the page.
But
I'm not
we
sure
couldn't
why.
see the other slide of you, ma'am. It's not moving.
That's what I'm.
Can present your screen?
Yeah. Now can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry. I'm so sorry. No. Is English a measure of intelligence? This question always arises in my head. Because when I speak, when I walk, I feel that people are always noticing me and with the way I talk the language, especially the way I pronounce each word and my accent and everything matters. And people judge you with the English that you speak. And if you speak good English, then they consider you to be intelligent. Isn't it not? Can I have some interaction? I mean, you can talk to me, not like a presentation. I want some interaction with the people in the group so I can continue.
Everybody are going because we locked the
Okay.
mute button. Thank you, Zainab.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Dr.
Afternoon,
Vidya Shukla
afternoon,
from
yeah.
Chennai. I think, yes, you are knowledge is one thing people are not focusing. They are judging by the speaking proficiency what you are.
That's really true, isn't it not? Just because you
Yes, ma'am. It is really true.
just know how to speak the language. But then in India, especially, this growing perspective, English aspect of English issue has been growing up.
Yes, ma'am.
The purpose of language is this communication. Are we saying the things that we really want to say? Are we communicating it to the other person? That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
So communicative English is the need of the hour.
Yes, ma'am. Here, ma'am, I would like to add one more thing. Those who are very fluent in English, maybe they are speaking wrong, people are getting impressed.
But I feel that there is nothing wrong or right when you speak a language, because language is ever changing.
Yes, ma'am.
If you notice, like any language that you take has been changing a lot, and today we have multiple languages in English itself. We say,
Yes, ma'am.
Indian English, British English, American English, such kind of and the new words are getting added because new inventions are also coming
Yes,
in.
ma'am. And local words also like English, so many words, ma'am.
Yes. So that's what. So communicative language teaching has been my genre for a very long time now, and I've been helping people speak the language in their heads. So I focus mainly on engaging students in the authentic language use right from their heart. And I always encourage making mistakes, because communication is our primary goal rather than memorization, isn't it not? When you're so concentrating on speaking grammatically good English, you lose the essence of the language. You forget to communicate what you're actually saying. You're concentrating so much on how you speak. You speak matters, because that's how we are going to be judged. So communicative language teaching encourages more of interactive activities. That's why in today's session, I wanted it to be more interactive. I didn't want to continuously talk. I wanted a break where I can see people talking to me. So that's how the classroom environment should be as well, which includes role plays, discussions, and a lot of tasks which are fun-loving, where we are not pressurizing the student speaking very good English. We just need to tell the student to communicate what he or she wants to say. That way, the fluency is also established, and accuracy will come in the long run. As an English language trainer, what is my role? First of all, there's always a gap which exists between the trainer and the trainee. It's so difficult to approach the trainer itself, because the trainer is projected to be a perfect person. Because I am really the trainee thinks that I'm really good at English, and then she stands nowhere near to me. But everyone here is a not native speaker. We all speak other languages, and English is our second language. As an English language trainer, first of all, I have to bridge the gap between the student and me. After creating a really good comfort zone between the student and me, so I'm easily approachable, and they can communicate with me very easily. So I act as a facilitator. I'm not an authority figure who speaks perfect language and who drives the students also into perfection. I always open myself to criticism. That's the strategy I recommend all trainers to follow, because everyone makes mistakes and we are also learning. So from a trainer, I also become a trainee, because every task I learn something. Because I am approachable, I learn so much from my students as well. So I kind of establish a personal connection with them. So this has helped me kind of encourage the learn the language. I always encourage the students to base the research in language learning more, more research based and not teacher based. So I am only a facilitator here. I am not an authority. So it's more research based. Every day the students come up with more activities than me because they are more creative and there are so many minds working. And they're always willing to learn constantly. So the trainer becomes the trainee and the trainee also becomes the trainer. It is vice versa. The first thing the trainer should be is brave enough to experiment a lot. The same thing goes with the trainee as well. You need to be brave enough to experiment and make mistakes because mistakes are the key to success. Don't I I don't want to outright say don't adhere to just traditional methods because traditional methods are good, but then if you see after COVID, our teaching strategies have completely changed. I was in the UK yesterday and then I'm here today. And then you can connect with me and talk about my experience and learn so much from me. So using the technology, we can do so much. You can create an app or or something. There are Google Translate. It's so easy to learn the language now. Any question you want, you can ask Google and it can answer for you. So you can correct. You don't need a trainee or a trainer always with you teaching you the language. And if you make mistakes, you can always check online. So the strategies are always changing. There are no strict rules. Students should get over the fear to talk the language. I feel that spontaneity in language speaking is more important than anything else. Prepared speeches should not be used. Every day there should be a spontaneous session where the students can freely talk, because when you communicate, you're not going to prepare the day before to communicate with a person. It's going to be always on the spot. So speeches, writing, anything should always be on the spot. When you prepare a lot, then you are nervous. Then that hinders your presentation as well, and that hinders your language speaking abilities. So English, as we know, is our second language. So it's not our mother tongue. But then why do we feel so scared to talk that language? Why can't it is so simple? We've been hearing this language for a really long time from when we were younger, and then in school and with teachers and other students, we always listen to this language through television. I think English is part of our lives more in India than in any other country. I've met a lot of Polish people. I've met a lot of Europeans, hailing from different European countries. I've met a lot of Chinese. I had a Greek friend who was my classmate as well, and I had a Polish friend who was my classmate. And I mean, to tell you the truth, their language was not really good. They could not even speak one sentence at a stretch because they did not know English. They were not familiar with the language at all. And every time I spoke with someone British in the UK, and they would always tell me, how come your English is so good? From a Britisher, I heard that. Then my confidence kind of improved because I never thought that my spoken English was, because they said you are communicating really well and you can continuously talk. How did you learn English in your country? Because that's not your language. Because generally in other countries, people speak their own language and they don't give importance to English as a second language. But in India, luckily, we have all the exposure and we have all the facilities to learn English because it has become part of our education system. Then what stops us from speaking the language? I feel it's just the lack of knowledge. I feel it's just the lack of good at it. There is really no doubt about it. But the Europeans are more confident speaking the language because in their mind, they just want to communicate, nothing else. They don't want to speak a perfect language. They don't want to speak a perfect grammatically correct language. They don't want to speak a particular accent. They would talk English in a Polish accent. They would talk English in a French accent or in a Greek accent, and they wouldn't bother. But with an Indian accent, we fear so much. The fear is inbuilt in us that we are lesser than them just because of our accent. Then the purpose of the language is communication, and it's already done. So I want the students to always feel confident about this. There is definitely fluency challenges that the students face, more than a native speaker, but that can be overcome as days go. It can't happen overnight. It can only happen as you speak and as you listen. That's why we have the LSRW skills, where you train yourself in the right way. Anything with practice. I had written my IELTS exam last year to get into the master's program. It was not really difficult. You just had to listen carefully, read carefully, and write carefully, and speak carefully without any fear. Minus the fear, I was all right. Next. So as I said earlier, lot of interactive activities where the student gets to talk more it should be encouraged more than writing in paper or listening to lecturers or teachers talking. I think there should be more activities that the students should be involved in. There should be a lot of discussions about random topics, current topics, probably about the bomb blast that happened yesterday or day before yesterday in Bangalore in Rameshwaram Cafe. It should be spontaneous topic where there should not be any kind of preparations. That way, encouraging students to always talk instantly, improving their communicative skills. And stimulate the genuine language use and promote fluency and accuracy. So what are the cultural differences in teaching system? UK versus India. So I did most of my education in India, and just for my masters I had gone to the UK. So the contrasting teaching system is that the only thing that I found is that the gap between the teacher and the student was never there. The teacher was always accessible to the students. That is the only thing that I found. And there were no lectures per se that was organized properly. It will be always interactive sessions, and there will be always presentations like PPTs, which I'm doing today. Every day you have to at least prepare half a page or add one sentence to your presentation. So the research continues, and every week there's a discussion. And not only the teacher gives their opinions, the fellow students as well listen to the presentation and they give their opinions. So every student gets to present every day 5 to 10 minutes. And that way, every week information is added to the presentation and your research becomes elaborate. And if any comments or any changes, the teacher as well as the other students give you. So the teacher treats the other students also equal to her. So you can comment and you can give your opinion about the presentation and also suggestions to improve the research. That way, that was the only difference that I found. Because here we always seek for the teacher's approval. There it was everyone's opinion. It was never an approval, because it was always considered that the topic that I have chosen for my research, I am the person who's doing the research and I'm always the expert in that topic. So they always told me that I was the expert. So go ahead, talk about it. And if they have any doubt, they'll come to me and they will research and mail me the next day. So this is how my research and studies went, and I learned a lot. I improved a lot. So the main thing that the teachers focused was to make me gain more confidence, because I was out of place. I was in a new country and I didn't know what was happening. I did not understand their accent. I didn't know what they were saying. I didn't know what they were doing. The education system was completely different. The referencing was Harvard referencing system. It was not the MLA one. It was completely different. I had to unlearn what I learned, and I had to, relearn everything. So I became a self-learner. That gave me more confidence. So encouraging the students to self-learn is also part of a teacher's job. As said, it is a facilitator's role that they are projecting more than an authoritative role, which is a good thing, and we can always adapt it into our education system. And the personal human connections. Today, if I'm talking to you through this computer and suddenly my dog walks in, I'm going to say hello to my dog. I'm not going to be so strict and professional, and I'm not going to address the crowd. I'll be probably having a coffee. So the atmosphere becomes quite relaxed. So you're not tensed. It doesn't feel like a session where there's just one way interaction and so much information being bombarded into the heads of students that you have to keep taking notes, because it's an interactive session where you get to know the personalized. You're right now you're sitting in my house. So it feels like the student is in my house. The student is like a guest. They treat you like that. So that creates a human connection and then facilitates learning. So it is also a continuous learning. As I said, every week the research continues and they keep helping you till the last minute. Tomorrow, there was a situation where I had to submit my project and then the assignment was submitted, but then next day was the last day. I submitted the day earlier and the professor felt that I needed to do some changes. He took the time out of his busy schedule to mail me all the minus points, and I read it and I submitted it the next day. And for the next day, he again sent me a review. They always take time and everything is recorded over email. There are no unofficial interactions. It is always recorded and official. So anywhere you can go back and then you can question the student or the teacher about the interaction. But the interaction and the connection is always there, and you always see other professors as well. And this happens through a system, a mail system, which is particularly the college system. So that mail ID is her professional mail. It's not her personal mail ID. It only exists inside the college app. So once you finish your course, you come out, you have no connection with the professor unless she gives you. So even the academic interaction or the marking, everything, there's nothing personal. You cannot interact with the professor personally, and whatever happens, everything is recorded and everyone watches it. So it is like clear cut and very open. So this kind of an educative culture is definitely confidence building, because the student is on par with the professors or any other authority figures. So they don't feel scared at all. They don't strive to impress the professor, or they are not scared that they will not impress the professor. They are studying to impress themselves, which is a good thing, because this is a productive process. Because when you realize that you want to do something for yourself, you want to improve yourself, you're not reaching someone else's position. You are 50% today, tomorrow you're 60%, tomorrow you're 70%, then you think I've reached 100%, but then I want to be at 200%. So it is like you're striving to become a better you, or the best you, if I can say that. So yes. Can I have anyone interacting with me about whatever I spoke so far? What do you think? Like, hello.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Dr. Nutan Yadav.
Yes. Hi.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are very much audible. Yes.
Yes, I have a query regarding this. The matters you are talking about and the way you are talking about is no doubt wonderful. But the problem is that we have a very, the students in our class is near about 80 to 100. And I have been teaching from 18 years and in higher education, Haryana. So don't you think that the scenario between other countries and our country is totally different?
It is definitely totally different, given the population and trying to educate everyone. You can't, yeah, the population in UK or any other country is going to be smaller. So the student gets more attention and everything, which you can't really use here so much. But definitely, research oriented teaching can happen.
No doubt, it's a truth. In our PG classes, we use the same method as you are suggesting us in this class, in this session. But so far as the graduate students are concerned, that undergraduate students, sometimes it's become very difficult for us to follow these type of techniques. And moreover, some students are first generation learners and other are second generation learners. Their priorities, their social cultural behavior is totally different. So sometimes we find ourselves helpless with these techniques. Otherwise it's wonderful if these are feasible in our classes.
What
but-
happens is, so when we also came from different cultures, the one thing they did was they gave a common topic to a set of people. So you can segregate people into groups, and a group presentation is always possible.
Yeah,
So
I
everyone
agree.
puts in their research. So every week, one person in the group gets to interact or talk about their project. But within the group, they're always interacting among themselves. That's what we used to do. So most of
Right.
us did not know what was happening, but people who have already done an undergraduate there, they knew the system and they knew what to do, how to research, how to go over research every time, So it was completely different for me because it was just a presentation, and for every presentation, I did not do any referencing, but they had everything done. So we had a mentor in each group who was already an undergrad student in the same university who would guide us. So we discuss in groups and we meet weekly once, and then that's what we used to do. So it is possible, but at least if we go in that direction, education system itself would change, and then because communication cannot be just taught, right? It had to be a two-way process. So at least communication classes should be definitely interactive and that way. At least if not everybody gets a chance, at least in a group gets a chance. So they kind of prepare what they want and they put across. But it did help me a lot. This kind of grouping helped me a lot because instead of going to the professor all the time, we could always go to another fellow student. We would always discuss and we would get inputs from that. And if we had any doubts, we would solve those doubts there. And if we can't get from that group, we would always go to the next group. And nowadays with technology, we always connect with WhatsApp groups and everything. And every time someone bring some new article, because and then everybody got to read it. We would always, and then everybody got to read it, and we would always have our own comment in that. We didn't get to share it in the group. So every day we had kind of a learning happening always. Yes. So the importance of effective communication skills. In our increasingly interconnected world, English proficiency is valuable. Of course it is. It is like an asset that opens up a wealth of opportunities. If you know English, you can get a job anywhere in that country. In education, employment, social interaction, English has become so mandatory today. Even in corporate companies, they've hired English language trainers. When I finished masters in English law few years back, it was so difficult to get a job. But today, there's so many openings for English graduates. Effective communication is the key because that enables us to express our ideas, because then we can negotiate terms, meanings, and connect with others with linguistic and cultural boundaries. The language, this is the language that connects all of us. It empowers individuals to participate confidently in academic discussions. I would also say that when I worked in the film industry, it took me, like, I had to listen to their accent and I had to, struggle to ask what they want. Just to make a coffee for them, I would help make a coffee on set. That was so difficult because of the accent. But then I just had to listen keenly, and I just needed to concentrate. And then boom, I learned it. Then I was fine. Proficiency in English made me foster cross-cultural understanding actually, and it kind of also brought an empathy. Any field you take, you should be empathetical. That created that in me. The knowledge, the meeting different people, different cultures in diverse contexts, then we kind of empower ourselves. We are not alone in this world. I'm not the only one who's where English is my second language. There are so many people out there, whose first language is French or something else, or Spanish or something else, or Chinese or whatever. And they are very confident. They go everywhere and they speak with confidence. So by understanding the principles of CLT and recognizing the significance of effective communication skills in English, educators can better equip their students with the language competencies needed to thrive in today's interconnected world. Because connection is inevitable nowadays. Thank you. I think now I'm open to more questions and then we can discuss a lot.
Yeah, ma'am, could you please see which message that someone is sending a message to you? Message box, chat box.
Okay.
Shall we read for you, ma'am?
Yes, please. Like, I'm just checking. Sorry, I didn't see the message box. Actually, I have some technical difficulties.
There is a message from my Nanda.
I am from Bangalore.
I am from Bangalore, teaching in an engineering college, and it is my pleasure to let you know that we make sure our students write a research paper in their first year. When they go to the second and third year, the teachers find it easy to guide them, and instead of training for the first time, I guess we are the first college to start this initiative. This
I'm
is
not
been-
actually able to hear you clearly after the second sentence. I'm just seeing the message. Let me read it myself. Yeah. I'm from Bangalore, teaching in an engineering college, and it's my pleasure to let you know that we make sure our students write a research paper. That is really good because research is the key. More than writing exams or learning grammar, I feel research is the key. The more they read, research about some topic, it helps them because you need a content which they are interested in, which pushes them in that direction to learn the language. It's really easy to grasp the language, and I'm glad that you're doing it. Oh, I am really glad that you're the first college to start this initiative. It is wonderful. So we are heading in that direction. So it's not so easy. If a first year undergrad course in engineering college, like if they can start this, it's not a master's program. If they can start this, I think the Indian education system is changing as well. One at a time. Any other questions?
Participants, you can post your queries in the chat box.
So by then I'll also, by the time, like you can post your questions and I can talk about some other experience of mine. I always find that people really listen to what we speak, whether I'm good at English or not. They keenly listen to what I speak and they always appreciate. They always appreciate the other person. I mean, that's some kind of a positive vibe that all of us should, take with us. Because a little positivity can encourage the other person who has just spoken a second language. Speak again. So they say, wow, Babitha, your English is wonderful. How do you do this? I want to speak. Okay. Not fluent in straight. I come from the first thing I didn't learn English straight away. I would listen go. I didn't learn English. If the teacher is going to ask me a question, I would mug up the whole lesson and go. But even for today's presentation, I decided I will not prepare and I'm going to talk on the spot. That is the key. Just make mistakes. Be free. Encourage them to speak a lot. First, you actually repeating helps us. That is the first step. And then you speak that and then it will happen because I did it. If I can do it, you can do it. list some of the activities to grab the students' attentions and also to improve their language skills. Yes, students' attention is very, very important. If I'm going to give a lecture continuously for 1 hour, no one's going to listen to me. I need to always make it interactive.
The
So
notes,
I should always begin with a question. And I used to always ask a lot of questions. And in between the academic topics, I used to always talk something personal, probably even talk about my dog or talk about my kids or some experience that happened to me. So, because the story is quite interesting and I tell the story in English, they listen. So ultimately, they're also learning, listening to the English language that I'm, spontaneously speaking there. It is not a prepared speech with complicated words. Yes, vocabulary is very, very important to speak a language, but with 100 words, it's enough to communicate. If you want to make your language so complicated, then it's going to be really difficult to communicate. So, very simple languages. I always find that with us, we always complicate the language. We also speak in continuous tense or past, we complicate the sentence. We never speak in simple present tense. I went abroad, the only thing I saw this everyone speaking in simple present tense. They never complicate their language. And they are people of few words. Nobody wants you to beat around the bush. They just want you to tell 1 or 2 sentences. And if you say that properly, that's more than enough. Personal topics, interactions with students. That's the one that I always recommend grabs the students' attention. And always there'll be pop-up activities. So I always do some 2 people from the crowd and I'll make them have a conversation. I'll give them a topic, an interesting topic. Probably, talking about your friend who just, told that they wanted to go for a movie with you, but then left and went with someone else. I would say, what did you feel about this situation? And then how are you fighting with her? Can you fight with your friend now in English language? And it would be so much fun and funny because they would fight. And when you fight, actually you speak a lot. Yes, any other questions? So by the time anyone is asking me some questions, so when I walked into that Warner Brothers studios and everyone's talking in a British accent, which I cannot understand at all, and I don't understand their culture and what tea they drink and all that, I had to make 10 cups of tea and coffee for all the trainees. And I'm going to take a list from them, like what kind of tea they want. So everyone, like here, when we make a coffee or tea, it's quite easy. We just make the same coffee for everyone and we give. There, they'll be like, can I have two cubes of sugar and a dash of milk, please? Or one person would say, can I have one sugar with loads of milk? And then someone would say, can I have a latte? Someone would tell me, can I have a cappuccino? Someone would tell me, can I have a chamomile tea? Apparently, chamomile tea is you should not mix milk. But then I'm so Indian that every chai has to be made with milk. So I poured a lot of milk and I went and gave them. It was a disaster. None of them liked their coffee or tea. But then they all laughed and they said, if you didn't know, you could always ask us. And they came with me and they showed me how to make the coffee that they liked. And then we had a wonderful conversation. How to make them confident to speak out first. Okay, there's a question. How to make them confident to speak out first if it was a poor or average student? We can't brand it average or no one is poor or average. First of all, we can't brand anyone bad at this language because it's not our native language. It's not our mother tongue. Everyone should be confident to speak the language. First of all, make them believe that they can make mistakes because we are not perfect as well. I think in this presentation, in this 1 hour, I also made several mistakes, not because I did not know, I was just nervous. Because I'm speaking to myself. I can't see any faces. I can't see any interaction. In a classroom, generally, I can see the kids, their reactions and everything. So I'm more comfortable talking. Here, I'm not getting a response. So I was not really confident. So mostly the confidence is low because of that. But as you speak, it should come because mistakes don't really matter. Encourage them to make mistakes, then everybody will be confident. That's what I have always kept it in a jar. I will keep in my classroom, and then I'll say that whoever makes the most mistakes today will get a chocolate. Chocolate. So we compete with mistakes. So people make more mistakes. They are actually talking, because only when you talk more, you'll make more mistakes. Right? So there's always a competition to make more mistakes in my class. That's what I do. Maybe you can try that. Making mistake game, we call it. Mistake game, sometimes we say that. Yes. So can you share an interesting incident which you give me a minute, please, if anyone wants to ask me something. Okay. I will just answer this question. So the question is, can you share an interesting incident which you experienced during your studies in the UK? Yes. So the first month when I went and attended the classes, I did not know what was happening, but then I acted like I knew everything. Because I didn't want to own up to my mistakes. I didn't want them to know that I did not know what was happening. I did not know how their research strategy went. So I just did my own research and I just acted like I knew it all. Then one day the teacher called me and then she said, do you really know what you're doing? If you don't know, you can always ask me. But I didn't know how to ask because my chance never came. Because everyone would talk, I'll wait, and the end I won't get my chance. And then next week again we'll meet. Then everybody will start. I never got my chance. So I just continued what I did. So that was something interesting. Yeah. Actually, one time they were also talking about something and it was kind of scientific or something. And then I'm like, what is it that they're discussing? I really didn't understand. Then finally it was the cat's name. It was not an English word. It was some name that they had kept for their cat. I thought it was some complicated English word and I did not know the meaning for that. Because you don't understand their accent, right? That's why. What is the scope for English graduates from India in the UK? So if you are a graduate and then you passed your IELTS exam, I mean, IELTS is a basic thing. If you pass that, as soon as you go, I mean, you can apply for your master's degree very easily because with my, I didn't show my master's. I just showed my bachelor's and I applied for my master's and I did get in with my IELTS. There was just an interview. If you can ace that, nothing like it. And then once you finish your master's, you can really work there. And I'm also trying to get in to start working there as an English trainer because I find that lot of Europeans don't know English, like the Polish, and so many of my friends actually asked me to help them because I used to train here in India, right? And they are finding the language very difficult. So they wanted me to take online sessions, and the pay is really good because the minimum pay in UK is £10 per hour, which is 1,050 rupees. 1,050 rupees per hour. So if you actually do your masters there, and after that, if you'll have the rest 2 years, you can actually take online classes for the students there, and you can actually make very good money per hour, 1,050 rupees minimum. I think if you really do well, and then if you are taken into certain platforms where you can access many students, I think they even pay more than £20 per hour, which is like 2,000 rupees per hour they pay. Yes, yeah, they pay more than 2,000. I was applying for a job which paid 2,500 rupees per hour because of the qualification. Once you finish your doctorate, that also adds. Yes, the Indian PhD is also valid there. Yes, So, but I think to have the right to work, you should be able to, apply to certain companies and get in, or you could do your master's there and then straight away jump in to start working. Okay, the next question is, can a non-native English speaker teach English abroad? Of course, yes. Not all the English trainers are native speakers. And most of the students don't want native speakers to teach them because their English is too complicated and they don't understand, how to teach. I think we are better at asking me to help them. So I think that shouldn't be a problem. It's your qualification that matters and your skills. How did you manage to study in the initial stage? We have a different way of learning in the UK. Yes, it is a totally different way of learning. In fact, it doesn't even feel like you're learning because there are no exams. It's just research and then you meet the teacher once a week. But by the end of it, I did learn a lot. Come to think of it. Now I think I can learn by myself. I don't need the teacher anymore. I think they equip us to kind of be self-learners, if I can say that. I mean, the beginning it was really tough, but yeah, but I think you can do it. Yeah. Can you suggest some organizations? I really cannot because you have to register yourself with kind of how now the first importance is given to them because the basic pay is minimum 1,000 rupees per hour, right? For any job. I am not really sure about TEFL or TESOL because I did my master's. So since I completed my master's there, it's a different story altogether. Maybe I think, see, I'm not an expert in this. Maybe you can do your research on this, but there are a lot of opportunities there. And if you online, you can actually do your research and find out everything. I had no clue about makeup, but then I did find a course, a master's degree in makeup, and probably I'm going to also do my PhD in makeup, which I didn't know that existed in India. Imagine a PhD in makeup, a research in makeup, yeah. The doors are wide open there. There are so many fields you can research in, actually. Okay, I think I'm not. Yes. Ma'am, what kind of jobs are available in the UK for those who have completed a PhD in English language teaching? So, PhD is definitely valid and you can become an English language trainer. There are a lot of online classes that you can take, but the only problem is you need to have the right to work in the UK. But there are people who may hire you otherwise. So, probably you can put yourself out there somehow. Like so many of my friends have taken many classes from India because it's cheaper, like the math abacus class and all that. They find tutors through online and they transfer money to them. They're not going to pay the UK minimum work amount for an hour because it's cheaper in India. They pay the Indian amount, right? So if that can happen, I think English training can also happen. You just need to create for yourself a website or something like that, where you say that you offer English training sessions and per hour you charge this much. Actually, one of my friend is she has not done her PhD, but she's done her master's in English literature, and now she's teaching a kid from the US. So she teaches at 4 a.m. in the morning. So I can get the information from her and I can pass it on to your professor, Dr. Jayanti, how she's on that platform and how she's tutoring kids in the US. I have some information about that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can pass that on. Yeah, Jayanti, I can get that information and give it to you, and you can pass it to this.
Okay, please forward it. Definitely.
Yeah,
let's
and you
forward
don't
to
need
the
a
group.
PhD for that. You just need to do your master's, and you can train
Sure,
people
forward to
8th, 9th, 10th. school level people are hiring, and the pay is very good, my friend says. Yes. And she is teaching remotely from Nagarkovil. She is not even living in a city. She is living in Nagarkovil and she's teaching a couple of students. And she's also doing copy editing. If you know that kind of a job, copy editing is also a good job, because people write so many research articles and thesis and everything, and these articles are always proofread, but you can't put it on Google or anything, because then people steal information and it kind of becomes plagiarism, right? Your article becomes plagiarized. So what these copy editors do is they edit, they proofread your article, and that's a good job, and the pay is also very good. I think she is making and you don't need to sit in a particular timing. You just have to finish that work every day, and I think she is earning 60,000 per month just doing copy editing. And also she teaches various 1 hour sessions. I can get those two informations and I can pass it on to you, because copy editing is a wonderful job for people who want to work remotely and earn money, because everywhere in every field research articles are written in English, and they need English graduates like us to proofread without Google helping them. And coming back to the UK, it was quite scary when I went there actually, because everybody was talking so slowly. Because in India, we have the habit of talking really fast. But let me finish my presentation. Half an hour is done. But there they talk really slowly. So you have to really concentrate and listen. That I felt really hard. Yeah. But it really gave me the confidence to talk English with confidence. I needed double confidence. After I went to the UK, yes, yeah. Anyone else with any other wonderful questions? Hi, Jayanti. Probably, and Hari Prasad. You people can share some experience with me or ask me some question until someone comes up with something. As fellow English language researchers and teachers and trainers, future, we should be futurists, right?
This session was a live.
I think your voice is breaking, Jayanti. Actually, in the beauty industry, okay, in the beauty industry, we call ourselves beauty futurists. Jayanti, actually, your voice is breaking. No, it's like broken.
Yes,
Can you hear?
wait.
I think probably I should mute.
I'm audible.
Yes, now you're audible, but it's a broken voice actually.
I'm not audible to you. I'm not audible to you. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I will switch out to another.
Bridgerton. So I went for the opening show of Bridgerton. I met all the actors and I felt like a celebrity.
Yeah, could you
Share, yes, Jayanti, share what?
about something you were saying with the web, some short film. Right now, you said about something.
Can you please type the question?
I'm audible now.
Yeah, you're audible now. Yes, I can hear you.
Was alive, and we are very glad to know about the teaching and learning strategies behind our boundaries actually today. And this is compared to the previous 3 days is entirely different, because you shared your experience, your own life experience. It shows that we all of us, those here from India, we come to know that what's happening in UK. Then the way you answer to the question is insight into your own life experience. So that makes us to be in you can able to image what happened in your classroom, how you were answered and how you acted there in your PG UK. And then at the same time, I appreciate our participants also. They are actually asking questions. In this session only, they are coming out with a lot of questions. This is communicating is a very common thing and it's very need. It's there is emergence of the day. Every day we need to communicate and update ourselves in our language. And the teaching strategies is going on changing, updating. So the people are very eager to know about it. Apart from that, the engineering staff, they are completely going with the communicative English, and I hope this will be help for them to take their profession to the next level.
Yes,
Thank you very much for being a live session. That's what I felt.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, you will always tell this because you're my friend. Isn't it, Todd? Sometimes we are so biased. I'm not that good,
Not
guys.
so. Even others from my team is going to be say their opinion. I think they
No,
will
I'm
come to
telling
know
you,
what is
guys,
real.
you're better than me. All of you out there, you're better than me. You just don't know it.
Yes.
Probably you need some 5 or 6 Britishers to tell you that, like me. Now I believe it. Yes. Yeah. Don't fear going to any other country. No one knows English better than us.
So that's true that I will come to know you through your friends from various European countries and Chinese and Japanese and those people. And often what we think is the people, those who are fair looking fair, they know English well. And that is how we are looking to the people. But the reality is not like that. They are maybe good at their language, their what we say, mother tongue, but not in English that I come to know through you.
White skinned.
Yes, of course. We have
They are
that mind
confident.
setup. Our mind setup is there.
That we don't know. But I got a lot of appreciation that my English is amazing. And I'm like, really? Okay.
Even your language is different when compared to college days.
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't
the
remember.
slang. Your language is good in that time also. There is no doubt on it. But the slang, the slang differs now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I got the appreciation from my very good friend who's also completed a doctorate and who's guiding so many people, so many doctors in the process.
Yes, thank you. So now shall we move to callers to give their opinion?
The jobs, the teaching jobs, and also the copy editing jobs, which English literature scholars can do part-time and earn very good money. If you want to learn English, make the British teacher.
Thank you for the valuable session, ma'am. It was very informative. I now call Ms. Akalya, as research scholar, PhD College of Arts and Science, to give the vote of thanks. Good evening, ma'am.
Hi. Hi.
As we bring the curtain down on the 4th day of our International Faculty Development Program, centered around the theme Communicative English Language Teaching Strategies, I am honored to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of those who have been instrumental in making this day and the entire program a resounding success. The essence of a focus during this International Faculty Development Program, where we dwell deep into the strategies that not only teach a language but also facilitate a meaningful exchange of ideas and cultures. Today, we have not only broadened our understanding of communicative language teaching, but have also set the course for fostering effective communication skills. Our sincere appreciation goes to our distinguished speaker, who has shared her expertise, insight, and innovative strategies. Your presentation have been a beacon guiding us towards more effective and engaging language instructions. Behind every successful event is a dedicated team and our organizing committee deserves a round of applause for their meticulous planning, seamless coordination, and unwavering commitment. Your efforts have not only made this faculty development program possible, but have also endured in smooth execution. As we leave with the treasure trove of teaching strategies, let us carry forward the spirit of innovation from the speaker. The impact of our collective efforts will undoubtedly echo in the confidence, voice, and the effective communication skills in our life. In closing the session, I extend sincere gratitude to our management, our principal, vice principal, and the head of the department for their constant support and who contributed to the success of this fourth day International Faculty Development Program. I also
Yes, thank you.
thank you so much, ma'am.
So thank you, ma'am. Shall we close the session?
Yes. Thank you very much. It was lovely meeting all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Participants kindly fill the feedback form which is posted in the chat box. Now